What's up guys, we're back with part 3 of the CBR600RR rebuild. It's getting pretty exciting guys. So as you just saw now, I decided to give the bike a bit of a wipe down because we've got the fairings off. So it's a bit easier to get to those harder to reach places. Last episode was pretty dope guys. We got the bike to start. I can't tell you how happy I was. So now I'm gonna quickly take you through some of the things that I plan on getting done in this episode. So let's have a look at that. As you can see guys, the tail end of the bike has been completely stripped. So we've taken out the under tray that sits at the back here along with the battery and all the accessories. And the reason for that is we wanted to expose this rear subframe. If you look closely, you'll see that it's a little bit bent. We're not really sure how that happened, but the theory we've got is when the bike fell, it landed on this rear foot peg, and that's what caused the subframe to bend in that direction. So we're gonna try sort that out in this video. Fingers crossed we're able to do that. If not, we're gonna have to buy a new one. And then if we go down here, we notice some markings on the swing arm. The stuff here that almost looks like stone chips. So we wanna clean that out, spray it so it looks nice and new. Same goes for the frame here, it's got some markings. We wanna paint that as well so it looks nice and new. We're gonna have to take out these stickers. There's a rumor that for every sticker you get like 5 extra horsepower. So it's a sad day for the CBR because it's gonna lose power now. So that's what we're gonna do as far as the frame and swing arm goes. And then what we also want to do is drain the oil that's in this bike because we don't know how long it's been sitting. And we're gonna drain that. We're gonna change out the oil filter as well. And then while we're draining the fluids, we're gonna drain the radiator coolant. We're gonna do a coolant flush, so we take out all the nasty stuff that's in there, put in new coolant, and make sure that the bike is running nice and healthy. And then the other thing we're gonna do in this episode guys is install our brand new front stay bracket that we got. So our speedo or gauge cluster will have a place to sit, and then later on we'll be able to mount our brand new headlights. So let's get going. As you can see, the front stay bracket is on. It's nice and secure. What I tried doing was marking up the gauge cluster on top here. Then I realized that some of the tabs that actually secure this guy on have broken off. So I don't know if you can see here, but there's supposed to be a tab here, a tab there, and another one there. So if I bring this closer, you'll see that they've kind of broken off. Luckily, I've got some of the old stay bracket. Let me get that. And what you'll see is that the piece of the broken tab is still in there, and we've got the screw as well. So what I'm gonna do is take this piece out and then plastic weld whatever's left of it onto the gauge cluster, and hopefully that will keep it nice and secure, and then we don't need to buy a whole new gauge cluster cover. Here's the little tab I was talking about, and what I also noticed is that we've got this rubber that we didn't get with our front stay bracket, but luckily we've got this whole piece and we can salvage that. We've got another piece from the right hand side that we're also going to salvage. guys, so I've got that just on there to hold. Then I'm gonna go around this properly and then do the other side and try put this front stay bracket on the bike. So I've plastic welded the two tabs, as you can see around here. My camera will focus. It's not the prettiest, but it'll get the job done. It'll at least hold the tabs in place so I can put some Q-bond around there, and that should hold this nice and solid. So we're missing one tab here, but we'll make a plan for that. So luckily we don't have to buy a whole new front gauge cluster cover. We can just reuse the one that we've got. Wow guys, so I actually found this piece that was originally here that we took out, and if you'll look closely you'll see that it's got one of the tabs that we're missing for our gauge cluster. So what I'm going to do is take this out, plastic weld it back on the gauge cluster, put Q-bond on all three just so it's nice and secure, and yeah guys, that should be it for the gauge cluster. Alright guys, so we're outside. What we're trying to do now is straighten out the rear subframe. We've hooked up a rig here, so we've got two ratchet straps attached to the wheel. I know this looks very dodgy, but it's gonna get the job done. So one ratchet strap is hooked up to the frame and then to the car here, and then the other one is hooked up to the rear subframe and again to the wheel. So what this is doing is we've got tension there keeping the bike straight, and then this one is pulling the subframe this way because we need to bend it this way so it's nice and straight. So we're pulling on this ratchet to bring this, and as you can see now guys, the subframe is actually a lot straighter than it was before. So what we need to do now is we've got a blowtorch, so we need to apply some heat here so this thing keeps its shape, because if we let it go now it's just gonna snap back. So we need to give it some heat so the metal actually forms to this new shape that we want to keep. So stay tuned guys, let's give this some heat and hopefully this comes out right.
A few moments later.
Okay guys, I think we got it. The dodgy ratchet straps to the wheel trick seems to have worked. The bike is level here at the back, so the subframe is straight, and we also checked the front also, so the bike is sitting straight and everything seems to be level. So yeah guys, it was a lot of work, a lot of pulling, a lot of heat needed, but in the end I think we knocked it out. So we're gonna take the bike back in the garage and we're gonna continue with the rest of the work. Awesome guys, so we've got the bike back in the garage, we've got the subframe straightened. All we need to do now is put all the rest of the parts that go on the tail end back together. So the under tray, the battery, all the wiring that goes here, we need to put that back. And then yeah, we'll be sorted basically with the tail end of the bike. Now, I just want to take you guys through a quick checklist of all the things that we've done in this episode. So basically we've done the frame. We've got that nice and painted, as you can see here. It's looking nice. We also painted this foot peg, the side stand. We've got that nice and painted. We've got the swing arm painted. Coming over to this side, obviously the other side of the swing arm is also painted. We've got this rear brake lever straightened out, so if you remember it was bent, so we've got that sorted. We got the forks back to the stock height, so the bike is now sitting nicely. We got a radiator cap that was missing as well. And then coming to the front here, obviously we sorted out the whole front stay bracket. We've got the cluster, nice and mounted. And then we've got the wiring also all nicely done. So all those wires that were cut off, we've got those nice and fixed. So that's looking good. And then while we were washing the bike and stripping and everything, we actually noticed the radiator was leaking, so it had a hole here. I don't know if you can see. So we got that patched up, and we also got the radiator painted nice and black. It's looking sweet. And yeah guys, the bike is coming along very nicely. We've got one thing that we found actually that may change this whole build. So when we got the bike, we were told the bike was a 2004 model. We even saw the fairings, it matched up. They looked like the 2004 model. But when we were busy taking things apart, I hope you guys can see here, trying to get a good angle, but you'll see the model is actually a 2006. So that's fantastic news for us. It's 2 years older than what we actually thought it was, which is super awesome. So yeah guys, super excited with this build so far. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've done a lot to this bike in this episode, but unfortunately we're gonna have to wrap it up here. Next episode we're gonna be putting everything back on the bike, so the tail end, everything, it's gonna start looking like a bike now. And if you look behind me, there's a box of fairings there. You guys go in the comments, guess what color the fairings are gonna be. It's gonna look so dope. I'm super excited for part 4 of this build. So if you like what we've done so far, hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and just tap on the bell icon there so you can get notified when the next episode comes out. So I'll catch you guys on part 4 of this 2006 now CBR600RR rebuild. Peace out.